Ladies and gentlemen, good evening and welcome to the latest in our series of Doha debates, coming to you from the Gulf state of Qatar and sponsored by the Qatar Foundation. There are plenty of cities around the world with a cash problem, but Dubai seems to evoke a greater variety of conflicting emotions than most. Pride at its flashy skyscrapers, disdain for its treatment of immigrant workers, respect for its massive container ports and communications, concern at its lack of transparency and press freedom. But like it or not, Dubai stands out from the crowd, an icon to some, a nightmare to others. So is it a magnificent dream that stumbled into hard times, or is the underlying concept fatally flawed? Tonight we debate the motion this House believes that Dubai is a bad idea, and you'll decide the issue with your vote. Our panel, of course, disagree fundamentally. Speaking for the motion, Simon Jenkins, former editor of two London newspapers, The Times and the Evening Standard. 5 years ago, he was awarded a knighthood for services to journalism and is now a commentator for The Guardian newspaper. And with him, Shala Musabeh, an Emirati citizen who founded the City of Hope shelter for women and children in Dubai. Previously, she campaigned against using children as camel jockeys, a practice which was banned in the Emirates in 2005. She now lives in the US, working as a human rights activist. Against the motion, Nasser Al-Gaith. He's a lecturer in international economics at the Sorbonne in Abu Dhabi and has advised the UAE government as well as the corporate sector. He's now in demand for his knowledge of bankruptcy and insolvency laws. And with him, Michel Kanu, a prominent businessman in the Gulf and deputy chairman of his family's group of companies. He finished school in Dubai and now teaches at the American University in Sharjah. Ladies and gentlemen, our panel. So now let me call first on Simon Jenkins, please, to speak for the motion.
Thank you. This evening we're debating a very limited motion. We're not debating Dubai or the people of Dubai. We're debating the idea which has motivated the recent development of Dubai. Now, if there's one thing we know from the credit crunch, it's that breakneck, uncontrolled, unregulated capitalism ends in tears. I'm a passionate and devoted capitalist. I believe in the profit motive and I believe in property development. All these things ought to go without saying. What is abundantly clear is that if you don't regulate it, if you don't control it, if you don't maintain markets in a proper fashion, they will go out of control, and in going out of control cause huge waste, huge dislocation and huge human hardship. When I first went to the Gulf in the 1990s, and first went to Dubai and studied it in some detail in 2006, it was abundantly clear that the idea motivating this development was going to end in tears. Plenty of people said so. There was no surprise about what happened recently. It was clear that this was a property boom built not on resources or on manufacturing industry or even on traditional trading. It was based on odd money and debt. And when you base something on odd money and debt, I repeat, it becomes a gold rush city, it becomes a bubble, it will burst, and it has burst. Now, I don't think Dubai is going to disappear. I think probably in the long term it'll become a perfectly successful part of the UAE. I think it'll be much poorer than it is now. I think it'll become a refugee centre for very large numbers of people who will become a part of the floating population of this part of the world. And I'm sure it'll have a very lively tourist industry, much as Atlantic City or Las Vegas does in America. But the ambition, the hyperbole, the hysteria that went on over the past 4 or 5 years will seem like a bad dream. It just goes to show that if you allow property development to go at breakneck speed, it will end in tears. It's a mistake. It's a bad idea. I beg to move the motion. Thank you.
Simon Jenkins, thank you very much indeed. You say breakneck capitalism ends in tears. Who says Dubai has ended? You're talking about one of the most vibrant, successful commercial and tourist hubs in the world today. It hasn't ended, has it?
It hasn't ended, no. I think many
It's
people...
undergoing difficulty, but then a lot of places in the world, including London, are undergoing difficulty at the moment. London's more broke than Dubai, isn't it, these days?
I'm mercifully not speaking for my government. I think many people would agree that had it been more cautious, had it been more controlled, had it been better planned, had it not been quite so ambitious, indeed fantastic, it would have been a better bet.
You've warmed to it slightly because you seem to be in a hurry to write Dubai's epitaph at one stage. You said the towers of Dubai will become casualties, not of human greed, but of architectural folly. Sand will drift around their trunkless legs. Animals will inhabit their basements. Are you rewriting your Apocalypse Now scenario for Dubai?
Not one word of it, no.
You're not taking any of it back?
No.
So you think it's doomed?
I didn't say doomed, I said it would be a different sort of place from what it is now.
But it works, doesn't it? It works. Look at it. I mean, it's one of the top 10 container terminal ports in the world. It's top 15 air cargo hubs, top 10 busiest airports. It works. It controls ports in 49 countries. That's something to shout about, isn't it?
I don't think it controls them. It has shares in them.
Makes them work.
And they're looking very sick at the moment.
Are they? Still seems to work. Still seems pretty vibrant.
If you export your debt to other countries, at this point Dubai becomes everybody's business. It is unhelpful.
It's unhelpful, but look at all the companies that are going there. Look at the number of British companies, 2,500 British companies, 125 companies in the airport-free zone alone. It's a magnet for trade, isn't it? It's vibrant.
None of them are cheering Dubai on at the moment. They're wishing Dubai's debts had been underwritten more securely than they are now.
But they're confident that it's going to come up again, and you're not.
I'm not, no.
All right, Simon Jenkins, thank you very much indeed. And now could I please ask Nasser Al-Gaith to speak against the motion?
Well, the main motion of this debate says, is Dubai a bad idea? And I would throw a question to myself and to my counter-debaters. What Dubai are we talking about? From my point of view, there's two Dubais. There's a pre-2003 model of Dubai and the post-2003 Dubai. I would agree with Mr. Jenkins to a great extent that post-2003 model, which I called the real estate adventure model, is failing. That does not mean that Dubai is failing. Dubai is a vibrant city. The pre-2003 model presented Dubai to the world, and Dubai has been there as a business center in the region for the last 100 years. It started in the late 19th century. And I don't think that this crisis will take all this from Dubai. A model has failed, an attempt has failed, but not Dubai itself. I don't think it will fail. I think what happened in Dubai took a wrong turn on the right path. And if they could do this, and I think they should be able to do this, just take a U-turn and come back and follow suit the previous model, which was there. I don't think that Dubai was treated fairly by the media. I don't think that the media was fair to Dubai when initially cheered the model to be followed after the 2003, and I don't think they are fair now when they just declare prematurely, to say the least, that Dubai is finished. I don't think that Dubai is finished. Dubai, what is happening is capitalism at its best, not capitalism at its worst. What we're seeing is a correction.